Hi, I'm Gregg Fraley, and I've been asked to explain a little bit more about what I mean by effective brainstorming or idea generation, as it's sometimes called. And this is complementary to a training I'm putting on virtually on Friday, September 17th. So check that out in Eventbrite. Anyway, here's the skinny on what I'd like to talk about in effective brainstorming. And I think, and I can almost guarantee, that I can improve your brainstorming either individually or as a team or as an organization by at least 25% or better. And why I think that goes like this. First of all, I think most people think of brainstorming as the shout out loud technique. So a facilitator writes it down or they write it down on Post-its and people just shout ideas and they write them down and you post them up, and in theory you're using brainstorming guidelines. That's the old-fashioned notion of how brainstorming works and how it goes. It's not all bad. Sometimes that's a good technique to use, but did you know that brainwriting, which is a more silent technique and is all done with writing, is usually more effective than this first shout out loud technique, and it's introvert friendly? So that's a step up right there. And interestingly, it's been around for 20 years, but only some small percentage of organizations understand what that's all about. And an even smaller percentage understand what brain walking is about, which is a more kinesthetic technique that also can involve music and visuals and drawing. Works very well with groups. I've had sessions that have generated patents, like many patents based on that one technique. All of these techniques are enhanced by better preparation, which I talked about in my previous video. But pre-experiences, pre-exploration of the trends, the consumers, doing observational research, parallel universes is all great ways to do better work when you're doing the actual in-the-moment brainstorming techniques. I talked about virtual and live, and it's assuming that we're doing most of these alive in real sessions with people in the same room together, but you can do versions of these in virtual sessions as well. To go to more advanced techniques, I want to talk about the integration of improvisation games into ideation or brainstorming, idea generation. Things like freeze tag ideation, which is basically role plays where you pause the action and based on some setup that you do related to the product or service or process improvement that you're doing, you jam ideas. So people create spontaneously a scene and you stop and pop ideas. More to say about that. Moving along, there's scaffolding to concept blends, which is basically a fancy schmancy, highly structured, combinational or combination-based ideation technique. Extremely powerful. I think it's an advanced practice technique that very few people use, at least as I understand it. Excursions are another way to explore, so that could work into the pre-work, but it could also be done in the middle of a session. And kind of one of the most powerful things ever is just doing a better job of framing up what you're after in the first place, which is again more of that preparation step. But problem framing done with challenge mapping or done with visionizing, and there's other tools too that involve improv games. So these are the tools and techniques that I'm going to be talking about in Effective Brainstorming, an online virtual 2.5-hour training session on Friday, September 17th. Join me and learn how to do all these things in 2.5 hours. And if that doesn't improve your results by 25%, honest to God, I'll give you your money back. Send a team or come individually. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.